Hi there, I'm attorney Kelly Longtin from Kelly Longtin Law, where we provide effective estate planning for everyday families. So I want to thank you for watching this video on 529 plans and what you need to know. Well, according to the U.S. News and World Report, for the 2019-2020 school year, the average cost of tuition and fees is over $10,000, a little over $10,116 at an in-state public university and $36,800 at a private university. So this is the average cost. But that doesn't include housing or books or meal plans, which typically adds thousands of dollars to the cost. There are many ways that you can begin saving for your children or your grandchildren's college expenses, and 529 plans are among the most popular types of accounts used to set aside these funds. There are a variety of factors that you should consider in determining whether a 529 plan is the best option for your family, including some that may impact your estate plan. So let's first begin with what is a 529 plan. A 529 plan, legally known as a qualified tuition plan, is a savings plan that provides tax advantages designed to encourage people to save for their children or their grandchildren's future education costs. They are known as 529 plans because they are authorized by Section 529 of the Internal Revenue Code, and they are available in every state and the District of Columbia. And there's two types of 529 plans. The first type is a prepaid tuition plan. Now, prepaid tuition plans let individuals purchase units or credits for a beneficiary's future tuition and mandatory fees in advance and at the current prices, helping to avoid paying the higher costs that will be charged by the college the beneficiary will attend in the future. These plans are usually only available for public and in-state colleges, cannot be used for room and board, and cannot be used to prepay tuition for elementary and secondary schools. And if a child later decides to attend a private college or university, prepaid funds can be applied to tuition at most private post-secondary institutions. The second type of 529 plan is an education savings plan. Now, these plans enable individuals to open investment accounts to save for any qualified higher education expenses. Unlike prepaid tuition plans, they can be used not only for tuition and mandatory fees, but also for college expenses such as room and board, books, computers, and software. They also typically can be used for any college or university, unlike prepaid tuition plans, which are usually limited to those in-state and public colleges. Education savings plans can be used for elementary or secondary school education as well, so just not for those college expenses. So let's talk about some pros and cons of 529 plans. And we'll begin with the pros. And the first is tax benefits. 529 plans provide several tax benefits. 529 plans allow investment earnings to grow tax-free. Generally, the longer the funds are invested, the greater the tax benefit you will receive. When you withdraw the money to use it for a qualified higher education expense or to pay tuition for elementary or secondary schools, the earnings are not subject to federal and sometimes state income tax. A 529 plan allows you to make 5 years of tax-free gifts in 1 year per beneficiary. However, no additional gifts can be made to the same beneficiary for 5 years. And if the donor dies before the 5 years have passed, a prorated portion of the gift is returned to the donor's taxable estate. Now, some states allow contributions to be deducted from state income tax, although this may be limited to 529 plans sponsored by the state in which you are a resident. So let's talk about some cons. The possibility of penalties. If withdrawals from 529 accounts are not used for qualified higher education expenses or tuition for elementary or secondary schools, the investment earnings will be subject to state and federal income tax, as well as a 10% federal tax penalty. Let's talk about fees. Education savings plans and prepaid tuition plans typically charge enrollment and application fees, as well as an ongoing administrative, account maintenance, and/or some asset management fees. If an education savings plan is purchased from a broker, there may also be some additional fees with that as well. Now, eligibility for need-based financial aid. The money invested in a 529 plan may have an impact on that beneficiary's eligibility to receive need-based financial aid for college or elementary or secondary school tuition. So let's talk about changing beneficiaries with 529 plans. If the child initially named as a beneficiary does not attend college or does not need all of the funds in the 529 account, the account owner can change the beneficiary to another eligible family member without any gift or income tax consequences. In addition, no federal generation skipping transfer tax will be incurred if the new beneficiary is a member of the same generation as that initial beneficiary. You also want to consider some estate planning considerations. You're going to want to name a successor for that 529 account. It's important for account owners to name both a primary and a secondary successor. So for example, someone else who can control the account in case you or the original owner passes away or becomes unable to make decisions regarding the account. It is crucial to name a successor who is trustworthy, as the successor will be able to make decisions about how the money is invested, when and how it is used for the beneficiary's education expenses, and changing the beneficiary. The successor will also have the discretion to make non-qualified withdrawals for a purpose other than the intended educational purposes. If no successor is named, the new account owner may be decided through probate if there is a will, or by operation of law if there's no will in place. Some plans have their own rules of succession and may name the beneficiary as the account owner if the beneficiary is over the age of 18. Now, this may not be an optimal result if the beneficiary is not mature enough to make wise decisions about the funds. If the beneficiary is not yet a legal adult, then the beneficiary's guardian may be named as that account owner. So you also want to consider some alternatives to 529 plans. And 529 plans have tax advantages, but they also restrict you from using the funds for non-qualified purposes unless you're willing to pay the tax on the earnings plus a 10% penalty. If you may need those funds for retirement or you're not sure that the child will attend college, there are other alternatives and they may be a better choice for college savings. So let's talk about two commonly used strategies other than 529 plans. The first is just a revocable education trust. And this trust has a special purpose and it allows you more flexibility, as it allows the individual who sets up the trust to serve as the trustee and make distributions for the beneficiary's education, but it can also be revoked or revised if the funds are needed for other purposes or if the beneficiary does not attend college. It will not provide the tax benefits of a 529 plan, but it may still be a better option for some families for whom flexibility is a priority. Now, similar to the 529 plan, a trustworthy individual should be named as the successor trustee. Another option is a demand trust or a crummy trust, and that allows parents or grandparents the flexibility to set aside funds to provide for a child or a grandchild that can be used for any purpose and allows the trustee to determine when and how the funds will be used. This type of trust is irrevocable, and thus it cannot easily be revoked or revised. Because the beneficiary does not have the right to receive any of the funds held by the trust except during a brief demand period, the funds held in the trust are protected from claims by the beneficiary's creditors. In addition, because the beneficiary has the right to receive the gift during the demand period, the funds in the trust are considered to be completed gifts, removing the funds transferred to the trust from the parent or the grandparent's estate. In addition, funds transferred into the trust up to the exclusion amount, which in 2019 was $15,000, are considered to be gifts that are free from federal gift tax. If you're paying for your child or your grandchild's college education, and this is one of your estate planning goals, and you're confused about the best way to save for those college expenses, then just give us a call. We'd be happy to help you think through which method works best for you and your family. Now, the strategies that I just discussed and that you just watched, they're just a few of the possibilities. So just give us a call, and we're more than happy to set up a meeting to help you work through all of this and come up with a plan that makes sense for saving for your loved one's college education. So I want to thank you for watching. I'm attorney Kelly Longtin, founder of Kelly Longtin Law. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe. I will see you all soon. Thank you.